Hi, this is Lisa Loves to Crochet and Knit. Today I'm going to show you how to crochet this googly-eyed little scarecrow. Or you can make it without googly eyes and just use the black diamond sticker gems. They're just flat on the back and there's a sticker. You just peel it and you stick it, or you can just add hot glue. And so let's get started for what you're going to need. Now it depends on which scarecrow you want to do, what you're going to need. If you want to do the googly-eyed one, you got to have googly eyes. And if you want to do the diamond faceted eyes, you got to buy those. I purchased mine at Joann's. I'm sure they sell them other places. And then you're going to want some light brown yarn, some colored yarn for a hat, whether that's red, blue, green, any of your color you're choosing. Gold for a sunflower, and a little bit of a darker brown for the center. And I do a different color for the trim of the hat. And then I have felt that I purchased off Amazon. It comes in a pack that has a whole bunch of colors, and I just cut a little section off from what I need. And then some black yarn, some hot glue, a pair of scissors, a tapestry hook or needle to weave in your ends, a crochet hook, and I'm using a size H, and then of course a pair of googly eyes, and your other colors of yarn that you can make it different however you choose. Okay, we're going to start with the center, with the face, so this brown part. And you can purchase pins. I sewed a pin onto this one, so it's a pin. And you can just put it on your shirt and no one knows all the wiser, and it's just so cute. So let's get started. I'm starting with this lighter brown, and I'm going to do a googly-eyed. Okay, I'm going to start with my magic loop. And there's my magic loop, and I'm going to pull up. There it is. I stick my finger in there. And I chain one, and then I put a half double crochet in that magic loop and around the googly eyes. And I'm going to put 8 of those half double crochets around those googly eyes. I'm just going to keep going until there's 8 stitches around here. So I have 8 half double crochets around the magic loop of the googly eyes, and I'm going to do a half double crochet, so I'm going to wrap that around, my yarn around, and I'm going to go in just through the back part of that loop, and I'm going to put 2 half double crochets back there. And then I'm going to slip stitch to the beginning. So there's my first round. And I'm going to chain one. I'm going to tighten my magic loop a little bit. And then I'm going to put 1 half double crochet in that first stitch. And then I'm going to put 2 half double crochets in the next stitch. And then 2 half double crochets in the next. Whoops, I have a knot. So I have 2 half double crochets that I count here. This is the chain 1 space, and there's the half double crochet, and then I have 2 in that stitch, and I have 2 in this next stitch. So I'm just going to repeat that all the way around. I'm going to put 2 half double crochets in each stitch around. Okay, so I've completed my 2 half double crochets in each stitch around, and I'm back to the beginning, and I'm just going to slip stitch to the beginning, chain 1, and then I'm going to do a half double crochet in that same stitch, and then I'm going to put 2 half double crochets, or I'm going to put 1 half double crochet in the next stitch. I'm going to count that as 2 stitches, and the next stitch I'm going to put 2 half double crochets. And then the next one I'm going to count that. I'm just going to do 1. So there's 2 here, and there's 1 in the next, and then the 2 in the next. You can see there's 2 in this stitch, 1 in this stitch, and 2 in this. So I'm just going to repeat that pattern all the way around. Okay, so I've completed that round, and I'm just going to slip stitch to the beginning. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to cut my working yarn. And I just pull up and make that a knot. And so now I'm going to weave in these 2 ends. Okay, so now for the other face, I just start with a magic loop. There's my magic loop. I chain 1, and I just put 10 half double crochets in that magic loop. Okay, so there's my 10 half double crochets, and I'm just going to slip stitch to the beginning, and I'm going to chain 1, and I tighten that magic loop so it's pretty tight, and then I'm going to put 1 half double crochet in that same stitch as the chain 1 space, and then I'm going to put 2 half double crochets in each stitch around. Okay, so I've completed that round, and I'm just going to slip stitch to the beginning, and I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to put a half double crochet in that same stitch, and I'm going to put 1 half double crochet in the next stitch and 2 half double crochets in the next. So I'm going to repeat that pattern again. 1 half double crochet in the next stitch and 2 half double crochets in the next. And I'm going to repeat that all the way around. Okay, so I've completed that round, and I'm going to slip stitch to the beginning and chain 1. I'm going to cut my working yarn, and then I'm going to tighten this, and don't forget to knot your magic rings. I always knot and then I weave in. Okay, so then this is your face that you can design for with add little faceted or little diamond gems. I did black, and I think they're 10 millimeters. I don't even know if I have the package anymore. And then so let's work on the mouth. It's easy enough. I take black, it's hard to see, and I just thread my tapestry needle without breaking the yarn. That would be helpful. There. So now what I do is what you can see is I just go from the behind, from one side closest to one side of the eyes, and I go in these holes that I made from in between the second and third row, and I just pull up some of my black yarn, and I go into the next little loop, and I just pull it through there. I'm going to cut this, and then I'm not going to go into this next one. I'm going to skip that and go into this next hole, and I'm just going to go around that loop. You can see where I'm going, and I'm not going to go into this one. You can see my needle. I'm going to skip it and go into the next. And then you can do it any way you want. You can do it any way you want. If you don't like it, redo it, take it out. If you think it's fine, then I just take the back and I just tie it with a double knot, because this is the back of it, and if it's a pin, nobody is going to see it. So it's just super simple. Let's try to keep it quick and simple. And then this side, I'll just work on this one. Get the mouth done on this. Skip that one next to it. Careful not to pull too much from the back so you have enough to tie it. So there's a little mouth, so that's done. And then I just make another double knot, and then I just trim that off, and then there's that one. And then now the hat. The hat is done. I'm going to do it in blue. Hopefully you can see this. I find the end here. And I just make a slip knot. And then I chain 11. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then I go into the second chain from hook with a half double crochet, and I half double crochet it to the end. Oh, to make it easier, what I do is I'm at the second to the last stitch, and you can start it sooner, but I take my end and I just lay it along the inside of that stitch, and so I crochet right over it, and then here's my last half double crochet in that next stitch. And then now all I got to do is weave in the ends, is I skip one and then I go back through and I knot and I cut it. So now I'm at the end of that row and I chain 1 and I do a half double crochet. And then I'm just going to put a half double crochet in each stitch to the across. And then I'll see you when I'm at the done of this row. Okay, so I've completed that row, and I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to turn my work, and I'm going to do another half double crochet in that first stitch, and then 1 half double crochet in each stitch across again. Okay, so now I'm at the end of that row, and I'm going to chain 4. There's 3, there's 4, and I'm going to put a half double crochet in the second chain from hook. Whoops, without breaking my yarn. And then I'm going to put another half double crochet in the next stitch, and another half double crochet in the next stitch. I know this is not a great color either to work with. Sorry, I should have got a better color. And then I kind of turn so it's all facing the same direction, and I'm just going to put a half double crochet in each of the stitches of the rest of the stitches of the hat to the end. Okay, so I've made it to the end, and now I'm going to take the last loop from this loop here from my last stitch, and I'm going to go under that, and then the back one, I'm going to take the very, very back part of that same stitch. So there's should be, I have 4 loops on my hook, and I pull up a loop, and I pull through the first loop, you can see, and then I pull through all 3 of the rest. And so I wrap the yarn around my hook again, and I insert it into that same stitch. So I have 4 loops still on my hook. I don't know if you can see them very well, but there's 4 loops there. And then I pull up a loop, and I pull through the first loop, whoops, and then I pull through all 3 of those. And so I'm just going to repeat that for 3 stitches, and that's the other side of my hat. And then I chain 1, and it was kind of hard to see, and I weave in my ends. Okay, so now I have the hat, and now I'm going to single crochet through those stitches on that row that so you have like a little etching there like you do on those hats. And so what I do is I'm going to do green, and I start with a slip knot. And then I insert my hook into that same row that I want, and I have the working yarn in behind, and I'm just gonna put a little slip stitch, and I pull my working yarn from the back, and I just pull up a loop, and I pull it through the next loop. Do that again. Pull up a loop from the back, and so I pull a loop, pull it through that loop. It's kind of like a slip stitch is the best way I can describe it. And so I'm just going to do that to the end. And I'm going to chain one, and I'm just going to cut my working yarn, tighten that loop, and then you have 2 more ends to weave in. Okay, so I found some bigger faceted little black gems that I'm going to use for the eyes on this guy. But first, we're going to do the hair. And you can see the hair, it's actually tied to the top row. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little length. Oh, I don't know how much. That's good. And I'm just going to cut that, and I'm just going to cut about 8 of these across there. See how 8 goes. So I'm just going to keep those 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there's 8. And this is his hair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it from the top, I'm going to go in the middle, and I'm just going to insert my hook and pull out one side. And then I'm going to double knot it. And then I'm going to keep going. So that's at that end, so I'm going to do the next one in. I'm going to do that one. I'm going to try to keep it as symmetrical as I can on top. Sometimes I like to pull them up, have them all in there so I can see what it will look like without tying anything. And then you have an idea and you can rearrange how you want. You don't even have to have hair on your little scarecrow. Remember, you're making this your own. So be creative. I would love to see what you do differently with your scarecrow. What you add, what you don't have, it doesn't matter. It's supposed to be fun. That's what the whole point of this YouTube channel is. It's for fun, happiness, for us to work together and be creative. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6. Whoops. And this is 7. I'm going to put 1 on the other side. Try to make it as symmetrical as I can. Oops. I took the yarn from the other one and the yarn broke. I'm going to put 1 over here. And then I'm just going to keep them as even as I can over the mouth. And so when I tie them, I pull them up so I can see the ends. So I know that they're kind of even. And then I just knot. And I put a double knot in there so they don't fall out. And I just keep going. Okay, so now I have the hair on here, and what I'm gonna do is I have it finesse for where I want it, and I'm just gonna snip the ones in the middle here, And then the ones I'm going to leave onto the side. And I can trim those later. But the ones in the center, to keep them so he looks a little more like a scarecrow. And then I'm going to take my orange and I'm just going to cut a couple little mouths out of this. So I have a couple little mouths. This one I'm going to make a little bit different. I'm just going to make it more of a triangle. So his is a little bit different than the other one. And then, so you have two mouths, and I have the eyes for this guy. It's a little bit different than the other one. Because remember, we're making them all different. Nobody's the same. Neither are my scarecrows. And then I'll work on this guy here. Add his eyes and his nose and cut his hair. But first, let's work on the sunflower. The sunflower, let's move this stuff up here. The sunflower, I start with a magic loop again. I'm going to use a darker brown. It's probably harder to see. And so there's my magic loop, and I chained 1, and I'm just going to put 5 half double crochets in this magic loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's 5. And I'm going to tighten the magic loop, and it's going to be really tight, and I'm going to go into the first stitch with a slip stitch. Whoops. And I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to cut my working yarn, pull up a loop, and I'm going to knot this and weave in the ends. Okay, so now I'm going to work on the sunflower, finish the petals on the sunflower. I have the center made, and I'm just going to start with a slip knot, and I'm going to go into the first stitch, and I'm just going to weave in my end as I go, and I'm just going to do a single crochet there, and then I'm going to chain 4, 3, 4, slip stitch to the third one down, 1, 2, 3 from the hook, slip stitch that, and then I'm going to do a single crochet in the same stitch. And there's your first petal. I'll see that again. I chain 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I slip stitch in the 1, 2, third one down, and then in the next stitch I'm going to put a single crochet, and then I'm going to chain 4, 3, 4, slip stitch, and I'm going to put it in the same stitch as that one. So there's going to be always 2 single crochets in a stitch. If there's already 2 there and you're starting another petal, that goes in the next stitch. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, slip stitch, and then I'm going to go into the next stitch with a single crochet, and it might be tight and hard to see, but it'll be fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to complete this around, and I'll see you at the end of this row. So I've completed this, and I'm just going to slip stitch to the beginning. I'm going to chain 1, I'm going to cut my working yarn, pull up that loop, and then I'm going to weave in my ends. Okay, so I have the sunflowers made, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little dab of glue on the back, and I'm just going to glue it to the hat right there. And I have the eyes glued on and the nose of this one, and then I glued the nose on this one, and I have yet to glue the hat on. I just put a little strip across the back. You can sew it on, crochet it on, however you want, but I want to make these quick and easy, so I'm just going to hot glue them on. And I'm just going to make sure that when I put some more glue on, it stays, so it stays where I want it to. So, and then I just kind of weave in the hair so it stays so there's your little googly-eyed scarecrow. Pull some of those. So instead of one, I've made 3. And remember, you just gotta make it your own. Make it unique to you. Add what you want to it. Just make it fun and colorful and creative. Make it your own. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.